Hiya, this is Tim American Slave. But really, the first the first 10 minutes of this isn't really directed at you specifically. But I think it's just it's kind of a combination of a bit of light-hearted fun, a daft song I made up about Gary. It's only very short, but it's had a bit of fun with it. It's a bit of light-hearted relief for me, let out my anger, so to speak, because he has been a twat to me. He has been vile. And also to sort of explain that thing about the speakers. I mean, what a cracker's idea it is that he thinks he can reinvent the loudspeaker. you know, um, tell people that it works in a completely different way than it actually does. And also just to explain why. Well, one of the reasons why I've kind of clicked. A switch is flicked in your head and realise what a lying, deceptive, deliberately calculating, horrible person Gary actually is. I didn't think he was that bad. Always had slight suspicions that he's playing a game, but I didn't realise just how deceitful he actually was to people who've actually generally tried to help him. So I just wanted to get that little story out there because it needs to be said. Just get it out of the way, move on. And it's not a big deal. It's just the fact that he would play such a deception on me, who's the only person who's helped him. I'm the only person who's spent all that money doing those experiments. I'm the only person who sent him any of them slits, and enable him to do the double slit experiment. I'm the only person who's advised him with good advice how, why he was making a fool of himself, screaming and ranting at the camera that Walter Lewin was a liar. I tried to spare him that embarrassment because I knew that one day, I thought that one day he's going to look back and regret this because he's so wrong. He just doesn't understand the most simple things about radio and magnetism and light, and he thinks he does, and electricity in particular. He's got a really poor understanding of these matters and polarization. So anyway, I've got some videos on polarization for yourself, and I hope, and one or two other things like the triple polarizer paradox, which everybody has a go at solving, but it doesn't need solving. It's such a ridiculously simple problem that's over complicated. Anyway, that's a different video. I just wanted a little intro here anyway, just to let you know that this first part isn't directly addressing your questions in your last video. It's just something I need to get out of the way now, you know what I mean? So if you'll forgive me for that, and then I'll try and get the other ones edited and uploaded in a way that that won't make them too tedious for you. I've tried to make them interesting because you seem a very curious, inquisitive person, and that's fantastic, and you seem like you've got a lot of gratitude, and that's pretty rare. That's something that Gary didn't have. He didn't even say thank you for the stuff I sent him. He did eventually, I think, in a very reluctant way. You can tell when somebody's really grateful, though. Their gratitude is instant, isn't it? They don't wait months before saying thank you. You think, well, yeah, I wanted that. When you could have just said thank you, they've arrived. Not leave me in limbo for a month thinking, did they get lost in the post? Did customs open it and think it was something dodgy? It took effort to get those together and send him. Anyways, bye. Right, okay, bye for now. Looking for the off button. Gary Gobshite thinks he's always right, huffing and puffing on his stupid pipe, telling all the world that he's erudite, but he's never passed an exam in his life. Gary Gobshite and his evil twin KenWheeler. Gary Gobshite thinks he's always right, huffing and puffing on his stupid pipe, telling all the world that he's erudite, but he's never passed an exam in his life. Gary Gobshite and his evil twin KenWheeler. Gary Gobshite thinks he's always right, huffing and puffing on a stupid pipe, telling all the world that he's erudite, but never passed an exam in his life. Gary Gobshite and his evil twin KenWheeler. People who don't know what this is all about, It's about this particular ugly, vindictive, arrogant, narcissistic, unintelligent pillock who thinks he's Einstein, really does think he's Einstein, thinks he deserves a Nobel Prize. A cheating, lying scoundrel, really, who takes other people's ideas and passes them off as his own, especially often people who helped him, which is particularly evil and nasty. Very cruel and vindictive to people who have mental health issues. But when anybody mentions his, gets very defensive then. Nasty piece of work, vile, horrible twat. So basically, this idiot, he thinks that loudspeakers work on the principle of nickel elastic. If you flick nickel elastic, bing, it makes a person go, ooh, what was that? And they make a little noise, you go, bing, oh. Now that's how Gary reckons sound is created. Do you think I'm joking? I'm not. He thinks sound is only created by movements faster than the speed of sound. Right, so that noise there, me flicking that string, that's the string moving faster than the speed of sound. He's crackers. So that's making millions of sonic booms, he calls it, mini sonic booms. You know when Concorde used to go over and it went, that was a sonic boom because that was going faster than the speed of sound. It was breaking the sound barrier. But he thinks that every noise ever made is creating a mini sonic boom. And because he's got this daft theory, he's got tons of daft theories. I don't know where to start, but this is one that most blokes can probably relate to, most men. If you're technically minded and you know how a loudspeaker works, if you've taken a loudspeaker cone out once or twice, a big speaker in it, but he thinks, because he looks at that, he thinks that's a steel rod attached to the cone because he's stupid. He doesn't realise that that's not attached to the fucking cone. Good one, though, isn't it? Proper precision devices, 1,000 watt sort of thing you have at concerts. Paul modest cone, speaker cone. Does that look like a steel rod attached to the cone? Because he's dim and conceited, arrogant, he swears blind that there's a steel rod attached to the cone. Now, any idiot can see that there isn't. That he's a Burke, a dipstick, a wazzock, a womble, a muppet, a wooden top. He's a dickhead. He's such a dickhead. But he's such a lying scoundrel, though. I mean, I was trying to help him for about 3 years as best I could. How do you help somebody who thinks everything they say is right and everything you say is wrong? How can you possibly help somebody like that? Somebody who claims to have been interested in a particular experiment for 10 years. It's called the double slit experiment. And all it requires you to do, take it seriously, is buy a few of these. These are the double slits that you use to do the experiment with. You kind of laser through the little slits and it makes a pattern. But you have to know what size the slits are. But because he's too mean, for 10 years of studying the double slit experiment, claiming to, lying, he didn't even own any. Till I sent him some 2 years ago. And he didn't even say thank you. Thank you, they arrived all right. Just letting you know. Couldn't be bothered doing that now. That was too much effort. And now he comes out with all sorts of... I sent him a message anyway a few weeks ago. Shared some information with him I thought you'd be grateful for. Well, he was. Well, grateful, that's the wrong word. He used the information, but he didn't credit it to me. He deleted my message, said it was irrelevant and dopey. Deleted it, didn't read it out in his usual show where he reads out every message about anything and everything. But this one he didn't open up even. Just got rid. And 2 weeks later, just by coincidence, happens to have had a brainwave. He says there's not enough creativity in science. Why hasn't Professor Walter Lewin tried this experiment? The variable double slit, trying to take credit for my idea. Now, what kind of scumbag does that? He probably doesn't realise that I store everything, every message I ever send. I save it. I save a record, so I've got a record of it being on his channel. So it's not like it's not a big deal, really. The big deal is the fact that he would try that deception. That he would try to take credit for something and deny that I had any creative inputs to this thing, the double slit experiment. And it's a very important piece of input, really. Very important little step. Or at least it's a very interesting step, good, interesting curiosity value. But what he doesn't know, you see, what he doesn't know... See, I couldn't have planned it better if I'd tried, really. I won't say too much. If I'd have been trying to trap him, I could have done a better fucking job. But I wasn't. I was just genuinely trying to share it. Not only with him, though. I wanted to share it with the community of other layman scientists. You know, people like me who, and there's lots of us, lots of people out there who are interested in this thing called the double slit experiment. It's boring for most people. Don't want to bore anybody with it, but for us nerds, it's very interesting. And to the real nerds, they take it deadly serious. It's supposed to be like the most important experiment ever performed, I think, or thereabouts. It's all relates to quantum mechanics and Einstein shit. It's serious business, you know. So so the information I had could have been quite important. Well, it is important. He still hasn't seen it. I still have the videos, and you know, just nobody's interested unless they can take credit for them. See, other people I mentioned, well, there's a guy named Skyrim. I mean, he's a decent guy from what I can tell. In the message that Gary deleted, I was also posing a question to Skyrim, an innocent question, about the dimensions of the slits on these things. And he helped me. He gave me his best answer, which is what I wanted. Thank you very much, Skyrim. That's all I needed. But Gary deleted his comment as well. Well, because my answer was a reply to his. But he would have deleted mine anyway. No doubts about that. He wanted to. That was his sole intention. You can tell, to hide the fact that I'd revealed to him that there's such a thing as a variable double slit, because variable single slits are common, but nobody ever does a variable double slit because it's quite tricky. Well, there's more than one way of making a variable, well, several ways of making variable double slits. Gary doesn't seem to figure that out because he's jumped to conclusions, which is something he always accuses everybody else of doing. Oh, anyway, he's a loud and vindictive twat. So anyway, I've made that little song, or little ditty you just heard there, and I've been having fun with it today, as you're about to see. Gary Gobshite and his evil twin, KenWheeler. Actually, KenWheeler's just gone up in my estimation compared to Gary. They're a pair together, though.
Gary Gobshite thinks he's always right, huffing and puffing on a stupid pie, telling all the world that he's erudite, but never passed an exam in his life. Gary Gobshite and his evil twin KenWheeler. Gary Gobshite thinks he's always right, huffing and puffing on a stupid pipe, telling all the world that he's erudite, but he's never passed an exam in his life. Gary Gobshite and his evil twin KenWheeler. Gary Gobshite thinks he's always right. Gary Gobshite thinks he's always right. Up and puffing and he's up his pipe. Gary Gobshite KenWheeler. Gary Gobshite thinks he's always right, huffing and puffing on a stupid pipe, telling all the world that he's erudite, but he's never passed an exam in his life. Gary Gobshite and his evil twin KenWheeler. Gary Gobshite thinks he's always right, huffing and puffing on his stupid pipe, telling all the world that he's erudite, but he's never passed an exam in his life. Gary Gobshite and his evil twin KenWheeler. Ooh, Gobshite. Gary Gobshite thinks he's always right, huffing and puffing on a stupid pipe, telling all the world that he's erudite, but he's never passed an exam in his life. Gary Gobshite and his evil twin KenWheeler. Gary Gobshite thinks he's always right, huffing and puffing on a stupid pipe, telling all the world that he's erudite, Gobshite, next time in his life. Gobshite and his evil twin KenWheeler. Gary Gobshite thinks he's always right, huffing and puffing on his stupid pipe, telling all the world that he's erudite, but he's never passed an exam in his life. Gobshite and his evil twin KenWheeler. Gary Gobshite. shot thinks he's always right.
Gobshite.
Huffing and puffing on the stupid pie.
Gobshite.
There ain't no world that has ever died. But
Gobshite.
passed an exam in his life.
Gobshite.
Gobshite and his evil twin KenWheeler.
Gobshite. Gobshite. You're a gobshite.
Camera the gobshite.